विद्यादायिनी भगवती
विद्यादायिनी भगवती
विद्यादायिनी भगवती
विद्यादायिनी भगवती
नमो 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 साई नारायणी
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 विद्यादायिनी भगवती
विद्यादायिनी भगवती
चिन्मयरूपिणी नादस्वरूपिणी
चिन्मयरूपिणी नादस्वरूपिणी
चिन्मयरूपिणी नादस्वरूपिणी
चिन्मयरूपिणी नादस्वरूपिणी
नमो 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 साई नारायणी
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 विद्यादायिनी भगवती
विद्यादायिनी भगवती
नमो 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 साई नारायणी
नमो 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 साई नारायणी
विद्यादायिनी भगवती चिन्मयरूपिणी नादस्वरूपिणी नमो 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 साई नारायणी नमो 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 साई नारायणी विद्यादायिनी भगवती
गोपाला राधा लोला
गोपाला राधा लोला
गोपाला राधा लोला
गोपाला राधा लोला
मुरली लोला नंदलाला
मुरली लोला नंदलाला
साई मुरली लोला नंदलाला
साई मुरली लोला नंदलाला
गोपाला राधा लोला
गोपाला राधा लोला
केशव माधव जनार्दना
केशव माधव जनार्दना
केशव माधव जनार्दना
केशव माधव जनार्दना
वनमाला वृंदावन बाला
वनमाला वृंदावन बाला
वनमाला वृंदावन बाला
वनमाला वृंदावन बाला
मुरली लोला नंदलाला
मुरली लोला नंदलाला
साई मुरली लोला नंदलाला
मुरली लोला नंदलाला
गोपाला राधा लोला
Om Shri Sai Ram, offering our most humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Sadguru, respected Nasimurti Sir, elders, dear brothers and sisters, and everyone watching us live from around the world, Sai Ram and good evening. Welcome to the day 7 of Navaratri Homa, Atirudra Mahayagna, and Durga Puja celebrations here at Sathya Sai Grama. We will commence this evening's proceedings with a Vedic invocation by the girl students of the university. They will be chanting Bhusuktam.
श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ भूमिर्भूम्नाद्यौर्वरिणान्तरिक्षं महित्वा उपस्थेते देव्यदितेऽग्निमन्नादमन्नाद्यायाददे आयङ्गौः कृष्णिरक्रमीदसनन्मातरं पुनः पितरं च प्रयन्सुवः त्रिगुं श्रद्धामविराजति वाक्पतङ्गाय शिश्रिये प्रत्यस्य वहद्युभिः अस्य प्राणादपानत्यन्तश्चरति रोचना व्यख्यन्महिषः सुवः यत्त्वा आक्रुद्धः परो वपमन्युनायदवर्त्या सुकल्पमग्ने तत्तव पुनस्थोदीपयामसि यत्ते मन्युपरोक्तस्य पृथिवीमनुदध्वसे आदित्या विश्वे तद्देवावसवश्च समाभरन् मेदिनी देवी वसुन्धरा स्याद्वसुधा देवी वासवी ब्रह्मवर्चसः पितृणागः श्रोत्रं चक्षुर्मनः देवी हिरण्यगर्भिणी देवी प्रसूवरी सदने सत्यायने सीदा समुद्रवती सावित्री हनो देवी मह्यङ्गी महीधरणी महो व्यतिष्ठा शृङ्गे शृङ्गे यज्ञे यज्ञे विभीषिणी इन्द्रपत्नी व्यापिनी सुरसरिदिहा वायुमती जलशयनी श्रियन्धाराजा सत्यन्दोपरिमेधिनी श्रोपरिदत्तं परिगाया विष्णुपत्नी महीं देवी माधवी माधवप्रियां लक्ष्मीं प्रियसखीं देवी नमाम्यच्युतवल्लभाम् ॐ धनुर्धरायै विद्महे सर्वसिद्ध्यै च धीमहि तन्नो धरा प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्री साईश्वरार्पणमस्तु।
Today, the Divine Mother is worshipped as Devi Kalaratri, the fiercest form of the goddess. With a dark complexion, disheveled hair, and a fearless posture, she rides a donkey and carries a thunderbolt and a sword. This form of the Mother destroys ignorance and negativity, granting us protection and fearlessness on the path of truth. We will now have a video on Devi Kalaratri.
The seventh day of Navaratri is dedicated to Ma Kalaratri, the most fierce and fearsome form of Goddess Durga, yet one of the most compassionate towards her devotees. She is also lovingly called Shubhankari, the one who bestows auspiciousness even through her terrifying form. Ma Kalaratri is depicted with a dark black complexion, 3 radiant eyes and disheveled hair, riding a donkey. Her very appearance inspires dread in the hearts of demons while offering reassurance and protection to her children. According to legend, when the demons Shumbha, Nishum and mighty Raktabij wreaked havoc in the cosmos, it was Ma Kalaratri who appeared to vanquish them. Raktabij was nearly impossible to defeat, for each drop of his blood that fell upon the earth created another demon like him. In her fierce compassion, Ma Kalaratri consumed his blood before it could touch the ground, thus putting an end to his tyranny and restoring cosmic balance. The significance of this day lies in her power to remove obstacles, destroy ignorance, and dispel planetary afflictions, especially those caused by Saturn. Devotees believe that worshipping her brings not only protection but also peace, courage, and happiness. The rituals of the day include wearing the color royal blue, a symbol of grace, prosperity, and peace. Devotees offer jaggery or sweets made of jaggery along with night-blooming jasmine flowers as prasad to please the goddess. Pujas are performed with oil lamps glowing in her honor, accompanied by the chanting of sacred mantras that invoke her blessings. In some regions, this day is also celebrated as Mahasaptami, especially during Durga Puja festivals, marking the beginning of grand rituals. In parts of southern India, including Kerala, the seventh day is dedicated to the worship of goddess Saraswati, where devotees place books and musical instruments before the deity, seeking knowledge, wisdom, and divine grace. And so we pray, O Ma Kalaratri, fierce destroyer of darkness, we bow at your lotus feet. Just as you consumed the blood of Raktabij to end his tyranny, consume the seeds of fear, pride, and ignorance within us. Protect us from evil forces, guide us through the storms of life, and bless us with courage, wisdom, and peace. May your fierce compassion always shield us, and may your grace lead us toward light and liberation.
Today, we witness the performance of Ramataraka Homa, Anjaneya Homa, and Sai Gayatri Japa Purasara Homa. Scriptures declare that chanting the Ramanama even once equals the power of chanting the Vishnu Sahasranama 1,000 times. In addition, the Anjaneya Homa was performed to invoke Lord Hanuman's strength, devotion, and protection, while Sai Gayatri Japa Purasara Homa filled the atmosphere with divine vibrations of purity and surrender. These sacred rituals bestow a stable and peaceful mind, remove negativity, nurture good conduct, and purify the devotee on the path to divinity. This morning, at the Durga Pandal, Adibash was performed. It is a traditional welcome to Devi with dhan or paddy grains, darba, betel leaves, fruits, among other articles. Puja was offered with 16 holy ingredients called Sharoshupachar, followed by rendition of Chandipat and Aarti. The Rudra Homa then concluded with Purnahuti and followed by Ashtavadhana Seva, Chaturveda Parayanam, rendition of Sangeetam, Panchavadyam, and Nadaswaram. This morning's event was graced by two distinguished individuals, Dr. Hasmukh Adya, veteran bureaucrat and founder of Gift City, Gujarat. We also had Sri B.S. Patil, Honorable Lokayukta of Karnataka. The One World, One Family Global Leadership Award was bestowed to Dr. Hasmukh Adya for his contribution as a policymaker and regulator of economic reforms, particularly implementation of GST and demonetization. In his address, he defined Karma Yoga as performing one's own duty in life without negligence, ego, and selfishness. He encouraged students to develop patriotism and serve the society selflessly. Shri B.S. Patil, in his address, quoted the Constitution of India and reminded everyone of our fundamental duties to uphold the culture and heritage of our nation. Sadhguru, in his address, recalled Lord Shiva's teachings to Parvati about the Rama Taraka mantra, explaining that Taraka means that which redeems and takes one across samsara. Drawing from the reign of Rama, Sadhguru explained how all classes of citizens lived without greed, each performing their duties selflessly. This was the essence of Rama Rajya, which today parallels the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. He concluded with a prayer that the spirit of Rama Rajya may once again take root, grow into a vast tree, and inspire the world by producing noble souls like Rama. Sadhguru then visited the Uma Maheshwara temple and Go Puja was performed on arrival. Thereafter, various rituals pertaining to the Kumbhabhishekam ceremonies began, such as Shuddhikaranam by Jaladivasam. Ganesha Homa was conducted and Purnahuti was offered. Sadhguru, in his discourse, explained the significance and the process of installing the deities, saying that the Prana Pratishtha will be performed on the final day. And this temple will become the heart of the campus, radiating positive energy like a dynamo, curing even the sick who come to the hospital. This evening, as part of the Know Your Mission segment, we are delighted to introduce Sri Subhojit Roy Mukherjee, an ardent devotee of Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, deeply inspired by the life and message of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. As the district youth coordinator, he organized several programs in the divine presence of Bhagwan Baba. Since 2013, under Sadhguru's guidance, he, along with his wife Amruta, have been serving in multiple capacities within the One World, One Family mission, including the responsibility of organizing the annual Durga Puja here at Sathya Sai Grama, Muddenahalli. Currently, he serves as the head of the Northeast Sai Swasthya National Program, leading the expansion of Sai Swasthya Wellness Centers across North and Northeast India. He also serves as director of Arogya Vahini Trust, which has brought preventive and primary health care through mobile hospitals to lakhs of people across several states. As founder of Sadakshetra Healthcare, he provides strategic guidance to develop holistic, affordable healthcare solutions for underserved communities. He will share with us various health projects and developments of Sai Swasthya.
Offering my most humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our most beloved Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. My humble salutation to my most beloved Sadhguru, Sri Madhusudan Sai, revered dignitaries, esteemed guests, brothers and sisters, staff, students, and everyone joining us live across the world, loving Sai Ram and warm greetings to all. On this very sacred day of Mahashashti, as the fragrance of the divine fills the air and we celebrate Navaratri, Durga Puja, and Atirudra Mahayagna, I invite you to journey with me this evening, not merely through achievements and outcomes, but through heartfelt stories, transformative incidents, and living memories. These moments reveal the very core of the Sai Swasth Wellness Centers, a pioneering primary healthcare initiative of the Sri Madhusudan Sai Institute of Medical Sciences and Research. I still remember Swami guided us and sent us across different states of the country very early, encouraging extensive statewide visits to deeply study existing rural and remote healthcare models. This experience was very crucial. Presenting the true picture of grassroots, realities, and formidable challenges posed by difficult terrains, harsh climates, and remote geographical barriers. Truly, what we understood going out to the world was understanding how people survived, what was their need, and what it really had to be done if we have to extend accessible healthcare which would have been driven by quality and precision. I still remember one of the instances where I was coming back with my team from a particular village, island in fact, of Kauchukhali in Sundarbans. We just hardly completed the clinic around 4 o'clock in the evening. And they suddenly told us, you can't return today. We were surprised, and I was thinking that they were talking on a lighter note. But truly, when we actually took a boat back, one would not believe there was pitch darkness. We could hear the trickling sound of the water just receding out to the bay, and we were just stuck inside a place which had nothing, no life. This video, we have done a bit of work to give some light to the video, but nothing could be seen. We're just hearing some sound of the crickets around, and everything was dark, and somebody was trying to put some torches to give signals to another boats. Somehow later, when the tides were guiding our journey, the water came back and we slowly started getting back to the port of entry to the Sundarbans. And there, one more instance I saw, a patient who was hung on a sling of cloth with a saline bottle hung on a bamboo. And it was a very strategic decision to put up a center at the very port of entry of Sundarban, so that different patients from different islands can come to avail quality healthcare, which would be free. Here, again, when we try to develop some social engineering and try to adapt to the geography and try to extend healthcare accessible with availability of professionals. One of the days when we were actually trying to screen for patients across another island, in the afternoon, we just went out to the village and trying to find out by talking door to door. And one lady was coming back with a prescription in her hand. We just asked her, Amma, let me see your prescription. When I got this prescription in my hand, it was a very high figure of BP. And I just quickly asked her that, what problems do you have? She, in her local language, said, I have a lot of pain in my head. So we and my colleague, we directed her to go to the other end of the river and where the center was there, and say that you go there and you'll get the entire month of your medicines and you will be taken care and it will be free of cost and all that. For a moment, she was just staring at us, and we were also waiting for her to say something. And she said, to go to the other end of the island, I have to pay some 2 to 5 rupees to the boatman. To get that money, I have to go to the other end to bring that, crossing another river. And there was some silence of 5 to 6 seconds between us. And I knew that it was difficult for her to even get that money. And finally, the final question I asked her, like, what did you have since morning? The only answer was water. So it was that we realized that moment, healthcare cannot wait for people to reach hospitals. Instead, healthcare must walk, sail, and even wade through waters to reach people. Thus, Sai Swasth Wellness Centers, the manifestation of Swami's love in action. These are few pictures. So, Sai Swasth as a vision of Swami very beautifully guided to us that every taluk of India should have a wellness center like this, and it should be integrated to the broader ecosystem of the healthcare mission of Swami. And there would be a seamless integration of these wellness centers where primary to tertiary healthcare would be given completely free of cost, where quality, precision, dignity would be brought forth to even the poorest of the poor, and not only the poorest of the poor, but for the last person and for the last mile. I would like to highlight one more instance, an incident. There was a small girl who used to come to our house in Kolkata. Her name was Meeta. And when she came, my wife used to be around her, and we both took her to the hospital because she was having some cardiac issues. She was 9 years old. And when we went there to the hospital, and the doctor said she was inoperable. So she used to constantly come to our house, and there was a bonding, as what happens our extended families in every village where we go. And we had a family function, and everyone was invited, including her also. She used to call me as uncle and auntie, and she was always asked me, will you come to my house? Will you come to my house? And on that final day of the family function, I got a call that was the day she collapsed. And standing there, I could understand no more Meeta Bacha story should happen. We cannot take rest for even a day. And what truly, really we should believe is that early detection saves lives. So very strategic way of moving towards a preventive primary healthcare service. The first step that we take is a door-to-door screening program where we are empowering rural youths, ladies and gents who would go door to door as per the aligned screening forms of the National Health Mission to first screen, to detect early, to make awareness, and then having a block-wise approach as Swami's guidance. We are trying to have a hub and spoke model where the general symptoms and the chronic management can happen with a local empowered team with a doctor in place. A hub is a more referral-based block center where specialty consultations, and as I said, a beautiful synergy of the integrated medical college services to be stitched with the primary healthcare centers happens through these hub-based centers. Now, what I'm happy to say is that, as Swami says about the SSS formula, Samaj, Sarkar and Sanstha, people have embraced us, particularly in the states of Punjab, Orissa, West Bengal. Panchayats, Sarpanch, they have come forward. They have readily come forward with their facilities available to make this happen. There are patrons who are coming forward to support the program. The Sai Swast Wellness team is coming forward to implement the program. And it's a beautiful synergy what is happening. It does not take a very big mansion or a building to set up a wellness clinic. But the impact of such centers is beyond imagination. A simple clinic just requires 2 to 3 rooms for consultation, pharmacy, and registration, and a space for waiting areas with a washroom. And that is what is happening throughout the country. I'll get on with the screening and consultations where you would come to know what do we do actually? So as I said, these centers are mainly taking care of wellness as a center, trying to prevent and get into the real message of healthcare, of not getting into hospitals in the first place. So general symptoms and NCD managements are being done over here with doctors, qualified nurses, qualified pharmacists. And we are taking care of also, along with the NCD, the oral health, the vision care, as well as all issues which are not in the scope of a wellness center. It is getting integrated with the medical college for specialty consultations and the surgical care. Of course, this is a wonderful topic I must harp on, and Swami also encourages a lot, leveraging technology and innovations. We are trying to bring in point-of-care devices, which plays a significant role in carrying the turnaround time of diagnosis and bringing the time down and getting the diagnosis on the spot. And there are multiple point-of-care devices which are in the market right now. People are helping us out also to bring out non-invasive tools where we know children are very, needle phobic. And also, when such devices come into play, such scalable models, as we understand, the idea of Swiss First should be in the entire country. It brings in a lot of quality where grassroots level community health workers who are trained get there and work on the very grassroots level. We are also having some digital platforms which are AI-driven tools, and we are also trying to work on nested implementation programs wherein such research work will bring in some solutions, adaptive, to take care of these work in a much more effective way. I'm very, very happy today to share with you with the participation and support of many throughout the world. Till today, we have 47 operational centers in 9 states of India and conducting over 120,000 consultations completely free of cost. That has been the journey so far, and we are looking forward through multiple partnerships to take this forward. It is not only about the kind of outcomes or the number of consultations. The team is very careful to archive the data, to go as per the aligned SDG goals of trying to have gender equalities. You may see about 62% of women have been taken care. If you see on the right-hand side, you would see a significant percentage of the consultations have been given to the productive age, which is from 21 to 59. They are the breadwinners of their families. They are the breadwinners and people are dependent on them. And of course, a significant portion of the consultations have been going for the NCD programs, who are adopted and who are getting monthly medicines completely free of cost, along with required investigative support. Not only that, the data also covers how much percentage of screening and diagnosis is happening for diabetes, hypertension, oral cancer, breast cancer, cervical cancer, visual care, and so on. This is very interesting, I would say. Imagine a person who is earning around 6,000 to 7,000 a month, and he is both diabetic and hypertensive. He has to go to a doctor every month, get his medicines every month, get his blood test every month, and even lose a day's wage and get to the hospital with his transportation and somebody attending him. Obviously, social impact is a perspective of hypothesis, assumptions, perspectives, perceptions, local geography, people, and everything, but we have assumed that a person under the Sai First program on a monthly basis almost saves around 28 to 150 rupees a month. Imagine a person earning around 6 to 7,000, he almost saves 40 to 45% of his monthly wages to take care of his children and dependents. All this has happened, I think, with a beautiful synergy of people coming across us. They have either extended their rent-free facility to us, they have either extended resource supported, either extended state-of-art equipments, medical furniture, non-medical furnitures. People have come forward to volunteer with their medical expertise. Pharma companies have come forward, and obviously, our patrons across the world supporting the cause. And finally, as we commemorate the glorious centenary celebrations of our beloved Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, let us rise together in our servitude and make history by establishing 100 centers on his 100th birthday as we gear up for the last final lap, 50 centers in the next 50 days. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you, Brother Subhojit. We are delighted to have with us this evening Shri Kushal Choksi, Superintendent of Chikbalapur. Hearty welcome to you, sir. This evening, we are delighted to present the CSR Circle of Honor to Vedant Motors, a company that has not only excelled in business, but has also remained deeply committed to the cause of nation building through education and healthcare. For the past 3 years, Vedant Motors has supported our education and healthcare mission. Their support has extended to the Sri Sathya Sai Arogya Vahini mobile hospital services in West Bengal and the establishment of Sai Swasthya wellness centers across West Bengal and Jharkhand. A recent milestone was the inauguration of the Sai Swasthya Wellness Center in Dimna, Jamshedpur on 12th September this year. Beyond business success, Vedant Motors has consistently given back to society by organizing educational outreach programs in government schools across Dhanbad, Koderma, Kolkata, Jamshedpur, encouraging young learners and extending support to their academic journey. Representing the company this evening is Mr. Vivek Saraf, founder and CEO, and Ms. Smita Saraf, director. May we invite them both to receive the honor. Now we invite Mr. Vivek Saraf to deliver the acceptance speech.
Good evening, everyone. It's truly a humbling experience to stand before you today and receive this honor from Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Saiji. To be honest, I do not feel really to deserve this recognition, but whatever I have done, been able to do just a drop in the ocean compared to the vast and selfless service that Sadhguru has been doing for the humanity. The vision here of free healthcare, free education, and free nutrition is extraordinary. It reflects the noble principle of one world, one family, where no one is left behind and where service is not limited by geography, language, or community. Visiting the campus today and witnessing this great work in action was truly inspiring and humbling for me. Whatever little I have contributed has only been possible because of the values instilled in me by my family, the constant support of my wife Smita, and the blessings of the Almighty. I believe that giving back is not charity but our responsibility. And being here today only strengthens my resolve to do more in the years ahead. We are deeply grateful to the part of this World Cultural Festival and other Navaratri celebrations, which bring together people in unity, diversity, and devotion. Finally, I would like to invite my brother-in-law, Dr. Deepak Tibrewal, who lives in Bangalore, to join me in stage, and we together express our heartfelt gratitude to Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Jaiji. Thank you.
May we now pray to Sadhguru for his divine message on this auspicious evening.
It is said, Kalaha Shivaha Tasya Patni iti Kali. Kala, the very time, is Lord Shiva, and his wife is Kali, Kalaratri, whom we are talking about today. She is the one who moves around in the night, it is said. Dark complexioned one, she moves about in the night to protect us from the demons. In the old times, that is how it was represented, that demons, or nishacharas as they are called, they only roam about in the night and they damage and destroy. So there has to be somebody who protects us when we have gone to sleep. And that is what she does. She stays awake so that we can sleep peacefully, and she protects us like a mother protects the baby when baby has gone to sleep. And baby goes to sleep happily because the baby knows that mother is there. She will stay awake to protect it. It doesn't need to protect itself. So today when we worship Mother Kali as the protector, as the vanquisher of the demons, of the dark forces, and as the protector of the good ones. So she protects us as a mother, and we worship her, though the form looks very fierce, but it is the most beautiful form of the mother, because she takes upon herself the job of protecting the child. And that motherhood that protects the child is beautiful. We deal with a lot of mothers in our hospitals. What all they go through to deliver a baby. Many mothers in our country, or mothers-to-be, are not even of the needed weight. Their body is so weak. And when they deliver babies, the babies are delivered preterm, and they need a lot of care which most of the mothers cannot afford. They do not have enough strength to even deliver babies. Most of the times it ends up with C-section. Again, very, very unaffordable for an average woman in the country. It's very expensive. And all the hospital care that comes with it. So we lose mothers and babies every day around the country. Statistics says, and statistics are not everything, but then it says that more than 25,000 mothers are lost every year in India while delivering a baby. So either the baby dies, or the mother dies, or both of them die. But this is totally avoidable. This is totally avoidable. If it was not avoidable, we can understand. Something for which humanity has not yet discovered a cure, and we are helpless in front of that disease, I can understand that. But this is something that can totally preventable, totally avoidable, if only we find out about their problems a little early and then help them be healthy and deliver healthy babies. And that's exactly was the reason why Sai Swasthya's mission started, to protect the mothers and the babies and all the other people, the breadwinners, the elders, all those who cannot afford to go to a hospital or access proper health care. And they are living in those remote rural areas, as you saw in the presentation, Sundarbans, which are almost inaccessible, and you have to take a boat to go there. I know it because I have been there, to one of the villages there, and they had to take us in the boat. And on the other side, somebody will receive us and then we can walk, or maybe a vehicle will take us forward. But that is the way things are in many remote parts of the country. So also in tribal areas, in hilly areas, there is no access to healthcare. You can't even reach people over there. Chhattisgarh is one place that I come from, where you'll have to walk miles through the forests, wade through the rivers, and then you will reach a tribal village. So they can never access healthcare. And we know even in today's times, so-called the very progressive times where healthcare technology is growing leaps and bounds, there are women who cannot access an institutional delivery center. In Chhattisgarh itself, an average study says that an average mother-to-be will have to travel a minimum of 60 to 70 kilometers to access an institutional care. And many times they're carried in makeshift stretchers with 2 bamboo sticks and a bed sheet, in which the mother-to-be who is going through the labor pain is carried on shoulders. And even the ambulance cannot reach there because there are no roads. So the people have to carry that woman in such, as I said, the stretchers which are made of bed sheets and saris and bamboo sticks, to a long distance, many kilometers, till they find the nearest road where at least a vehicle can come and take. And still they have to go many miles, many tens of kilometers to reach a hospital where she can deliver safely. So that is the kind of struggle that the rural communities go through. And we cannot bring them to the hospitals easily, nor we can build tertiary care centers in those areas because doctors won't go and work there. Nurses won't go there and work because they're so remote. So we thought what can be done, and that is how this primary care model of Sai Swasthya emerged. And now these centers are coming up everywhere around the country with the help of like-minded people. And as Shubhajit was explaining, there are many partners and stakeholders in this. Somebody living abroad, let's say in the US, says, in my village, can you build a center like this? I will take care of it, I will sponsor it, I will support it. And then we find the right people, the panchayat members, and the team goes, talks to them. And that's how a center is built. Like that, many centers are coming up based on people's support. It's not very difficult. The center does not cost much. If you get a rent-free building, it is immediately we can start. Even if you have to pay a rent in a small village for a house, it is not much. And then you have to put some, of course, equipment. Luckily, internet has become quite ubiquitous now, thanks to the government of India's initiatives of Digital India. A lot of places we get internet, we're able to access some technology, some communication there. And then we set up our computers and whatever is required for basic record keeping and diagnostic tools that he was mentioning, non-invasive ones. We use those to at least get a fair idea of what the patient is going through. And the blood samples are collected, taken to the nearest lab, and the lab work is done and the results are found, and then whatever next needs to be done. Similarly, pharmacies established in the same center so that medicines can be dispensed then and there, at least the basic medicines, and then we can take the patient to a higher center. And then the patient, many of them through the Sai Swasthya model have come even till the medical college, got their heart surgery done or other operations done because of having been found early in their own local areas. So it's a great transformative healthcare model that has come up, and it's doing wonders. Though it looks very simple and small, it is a challenge to build these centers too, because these are remote centers and you need people's support. You need a doctor. But technology is solving a lot of these problems because through telemedicine and other facilities also we are able to access. However, we still need doctors who are passionate about rural healthcare, who love to serve in the rural areas. That is why this medical college started. Because we found there were not enough doctors who were willing to go to the rural areas. Even though they were from that village, not many returned to the village. Once they tasted the good life of the cities, they never came back for their people. That is why the medical college has a rule that after your education, 5 years, you have to serve in a rural area wherever we post you. So you could be in Sundarbans, in those dark villages without electricity. All you have is mosquitoes for company. You can end up there. So if you are joining our medical college, beware. I'm very particular that you can be posted anywhere, because you must look after the people there, because they need help and they just don't know how to access. Government is doing what it can, but it is too little for some of these areas. So that is why this model has come up. And our idea is to build one Sai Swasthya center in every taluk to begin with. But actually my idea is to eventually grow it into a secondary care and then go further deep into the rural areas and extend Sai Swasthya centers to much more rural communities. So our idea is that 6,000 Sai Swasthya centers around the country at every, let's say, mandal level, taluk level, or even lower block level. And then at the taluka level, you have a Sai Arogya centers, which are 30 to 40 bed general hospitals. And then you have tertiary care hospitals, which we already have several in the country, which do high-end mother and child care as well as general care. And we have the medical college and the big hospital, which can take care of all the tertiary care needs. So it's a pyramid-like thing. Right on top is the tertiary care model, but very few need that compared to the people who need secondary care, compared to those who need primary care. So that is how it has been created. And we had a target that 100 centers should be established by 100th birthday. Now Shubhajit tells me that in next 50 days he'll be able to finish 50 centers, and they have planned for it. So I'm very glad that they have made plans, and how they will achieve that. It's almost opening one center per day in some part of the country, somewhere far, far away. And you need people there, you need the center, you need connectivity, you need the equipment, you need all the record keeping, and you need somebody to man the center, and the pharmacy to reach there, the medicines to reach there and get replenished. So many things have to happen within 50 days. I really don't know how, but I'm sure if Subhajit is saying it will happen. I trust that they will manage it. So that is how this mission is growing. So when we worship Mother Goddess, see them in those remote rural area women who cannot access food or health care. And imagine, they also are mothers. We all have been born of some mother. And we believe that motherhood is divinity, because the Srijana Shakti, that power to create, is the power of mother. That's why we worship her in all these festivals. But the real mothers out there are suffering. Real people out there are really going through so much of difficulty, and we can do something about it. All of us can do. So I encourage that we have to build 6,000 Sai Swasthya centers across the country, and then later to secondary care hospital, which will happen eventually. But primary health is a transformative, preventive primary health is a transformative intervention. And I would request everybody who can, please take up one center in your own village or wherever you are. It doesn't cost much. I'll give you the finances also. I think Shubhajit has to corroborate that. But probably it costs you, just the establishment costs you ₹1,00,000 because of the equipment, computer, and basic printers and things like that, some basic furniture. If the room is free, if the house is free, or even if his house is charged, it would be a small rent in a remote area. And then probably monthly it costs you 50 to 60,000 rupees to maintain that center, which will look after minimum 300 to 400 patients. It can maintain them, and it can also take care of new patients. So over a year, you can take care of probably 3,000 to 4,000 patients, and you can take care of, which will be like 15-20% of the population. That is what falls sick. The average people are quite okay, but those 20% who are vulnerable, they can be looked after through that. So it is a model that won't cost you more than probably 7 lakhs, 6 to 7 lakhs or 8 lakhs a year at best. And then we have tertiary care, so you actually are taking care of the entire care continuum, as we call it, the entire cycle. So if you detect somebody with a cancer and tell them you have a cancer and leave them high and dry, what's the use? You made it worse for them, because they didn't know they have cancer, they were living. Now you told them you have cancer, now they don't know what to do. But our hospitals are standing with Sai Swasthya model. If you have cancer, you will be transferred to the institute here, medical institute here, where you will be taken care of. and provided for everything that you require, and then once you are better, you will be sent back. Likewise, across the country, this model is now starting to work. I know we have a long way to go. We thought 6,000, we are only 47, but this is only a hardly 2-year-old initiative. I am sure in times to come, probably in the next 10 years, by 2030, 35, around that, we should be able to achieve this. We just need 6,000 people who say, I will take care of one center on my own, with my friends, with my family, with my relatives. I'll take care of one center. 6,000 people say that across the country these centers will come up. And the good part, as I said, is that they don't have to worry about further care because our institute stands by their side to take care of the further care. Otherwise, most of the NGOs, I remember a story of Chhattisgarh itself. It was United Nations NGO which was working there in the field of mother and child care. And then suddenly one fine day, they dropped it all like a hot potato and walked away because their funding was over, their contract was over, and that's it. Nobody is going to live there and stay there unless it's funded and under some kind of a contractual agreement. But they walked away. And then the Chhattisgarh government was at its wit's end, saying, what do we do? And then invited us. We went there, but then there was so much of, politics that happens in every place that we could not take care of them. Then I said, irrespective of that, we should go and do whatever service we can. That is how tribal girls were recruited into the system, and they started getting trained. We started giving them a stipend, training them, because they can go back and take care of their people. We cannot create manpower from thin air. You have to pick those people. So it is also going to provide 6,000 jobs or 6,000 to 10,000 jobs to the rural kids who cannot cross the borders of their villages because there are taboos. But they can be trained in our center, sent back, they will man the center. So suddenly you see this is an empowerment of all kinds. Suddenly you have health empowerment, education empowerment, employment empowerment, and women empowerment, because most of these centers can be easily taken care of by a girl who has passed 10th or so, gets trained here for 6 months to a year. She can go back and take care of that center. So it's going to be a transformative project. And we are doing it because we have seen that we cannot take care of everybody at tertiary level. It's too late in the timeline because already the damage has happened. And then you have to spend 10 times the money or 20 times the money to save the same patient. If we had invested that early on, this damage would not have happened. This kinds of resources would not have been drained for no reason. We could have taken care at a fraction of the cost and efforts. And they would have been spared all the pain that they undergo for several months or years. So that is why this is transformative with technology and AI. We have invested in artificial intelligence that can talk to patients in their language and then translate the same thing back to the language of the doctor. So it makes the communication seamless because you can't get an Odia doctor for an Odia patient and a Kannadiga doctor for a Kannada patient. It is very difficult to get that. You will get a general doctor who speaks whatever language and the patients who speak whatever the language, and the AI bridges the gap. It converts all that, talking on a real-time basis. So as an institute, we are investing in these technologies to solve these grassroots level problems. And I'm hoping that a day will come when these centers will be everywhere, manned by our own people, our own children trained here, and then nobody will be denied access to good health care. And we will do preventive health care so that nobody falls sick. A lot of awareness, education, and prevention can solve the problem. Otherwise, the tertiary healthcare burden of the country will become so big that it will eat into all the good that you are doing. All your hard-earned tax money will go in only saving patients, spending so much money on that, which could be easily prevented if we promote the primary healthcare model. So I just thought I will mention that so that you understand what is going on, and everybody can participate. You need not be in India to participate in India. You can be in the US or Australia or Japan or wherever, Europe, and you can adopt a center in India. And once this model succeeds, we can extend it to other countries as well. So that is the idea. I hope that people will take it seriously and do something about it. And I wish the team all the very best for the next 50 centers in the 50 days that's going to happen. And on 23rd November, they better come with 100 centers, now that they said it out in the open. And I'm sure, when there is will, there is way. And God helps those who help themselves, who take it up and do it. I'm sure it will happen. And these are beautiful times. Today we started the festivities for the Umameshwara Swami Devasthanam. Today onwards, 5 days, these rituals will go on, and the 5th day, the Prana Pratishtha will happen. And there's going to be a Ratha Yatra after that, where the Lord will be taken, the deities will be taken in a chariot around the ashram. That will happen every now and then. So it's become totally a a Tirtha Kshetra. It is growing to become like one. And slowly, this is the original India, where you had healthcare available for free, education for free, Vedic knowledge for free. There was temple, there were other beautiful spiritual activities going on all the time, and people always lived in that spiritual thought. So there was no thought of harming anybody, there was no thought of being selfish. Everybody lived such a pure, simple and selfless life. That's why India was so very, though Sone ki chidiya they used to call it, right? It was so very rich at that point in time. Because we never cared for ourselves, we cared for everyone. So everybody was rich. Today also India is rich, but only few are rich. Others are not rich. But those days everybody was rich. Why? Because everybody shared and cared. And everybody thought everything belonged to God and all were God's people. In fact, God, Ishana Sarva Bhutanam, Ishvara Sarva Vidyanam, that principle was followed. That's why everybody lived a happy life. And today that is not happening, but we can make it happen if we take these few important steps and everybody does a little more than what they have been doing so far. Much can be done. And this is these blessings to the entire team of Sai Swasthya, which is a very large team. Subhajit is representing, but there are so many people working across, including Karnataka, everywhere in Andhra, Telangana, Odisha, Bihar, Jharkhand, Punjab. You saw those states, most of these states. So this is where this is growing, and I hope that all of us can take part in this yajna of one kind. And if we can all do a little bit, then so many people can be saved. 140,000 consultations you can imagine with these centers, which clearly shows the potential. These people would not have any place to go. And even if they went, they would have at least spent 2,850 rupees, as Subhajit said, which is unaffordable for most of these rural people. 6,000 rupees, 7,000 rupees is an average income per month for a family of 4 or 5, not just for one. So you can't spend 2,500 rupees to save one person. That's not possible. So that is how this is going to be very transformative. I'm very excited about this project. Well, I'm excited about so many projects. Every day I will tell you this is good, that is good. But yesterday I told Nada Gurukulam, today I'm telling Sai Swasthya. Don't get confused. Everything is important. But whatever, tugs at your heart, do that. But do something. Everybody should participate from around the world, because all are our people. Think like that and do whatever best you can. We'll come back for a beautiful violin duo. The Mysore brothers, they're going to play now. And both Nagaraj and Manjunath have been knowing, I know them for many years now. And they are wonderful. They're maestros in their skill, their art. And you will hear them in a short while. So I'll come back after a break. Thank you. Every drop counts, because every life counts. So whatever you do, it helps somewhere, somebody. Please continue to support us and tell more of your friends to do that. Okay. Thank you. A lot of blessings to you.